How would you like a 15% discount to my daily email, the stack of stuff, the show notes, discounts to the conference, all of that? All you need to do is text the word show to 33777. You'll get the annual subscription with a 15% discount to my daily email. You'll get the stack of stuff, the links to the show notes, discounts to the conference, and so much more. All you have to do is text the word show, SHOW, to 33777. Text show to 33777.
Welcome to the Eric Erickson Show podcast, Hour 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope your turkey's thawing. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be delighted to have you. There is news that the president of Ukraine would like a face-to-face with Donald Trump to sign on to this Ukraine deal. No actual meeting has yet been arranged. Key economic sectors show weak job growth. That story has just hit the wire based on this morning's information that came out. Manufacturing employment is down 0.7% over the last 12 months. Turns out tariffs are weighing on the sector. And temporary help employment, which tends to be volatile, is down 3%. It's been losing jobs 3 consecutive years in a row. 2 other sectors that tend to correlate with economic momentum, transportation and warehousing and wholesale trade, also seeing jobs down. Now, this is actually probably the most stunning part is that healthcare and social assistance and the leisure and hospitality industries accounted for more than 100% of net job gains so far in 2025. Excluding those sectors, employment dropped 6,000 jobs in the first 9 months of the year. While this is happening, in Washington, D.C., Republicans are overwhelmingly obsessed with the seditious six. I gotta make a larger point here. I saw the night of the 2024 election a young man I follow on Twitter who lives in Washington, who's pretty connected into Trump world. He put up a tweet, and it was, turns out Twitter is real life, and the people who say it's not are the ones who need to touch some grass. Turns out Twitter is real life, and the people who say it's not are the ones who need to touch some grass. And I saw that tweet, and I sent it to several friends of mine and said at the time, in November of 2024, this is going to be a train wreck, isn't it? Twitter is not real life. It's even less representative now. It has become the right-wing echo chamber, Blue Sky, the left-wing echo chamber, and it is people who are highly, highly online. This morning on Twitter, in fact, I can pull up the tweet. The kid is mad at me and now attacking me, and I don't know if it's an actual kid or posing as a kid, but it's a young person on social media, and I want to read this for you. And some of you, your first reaction is going to be that it's a good idea. And when you do that, I need you to know you're an idiot. You actually are an idiot if your first reaction is, this is a good idea. It is flummoxing to me that we're at a point where people think about stuff like this and say, hey, yes, this is the ticket to our future success. Not going to give you the account, but it says door-to-door mass deportations are the answer to any and all economic woes. Door-to-door mass deportations are the answer to any and all economic woes. What is the best way for the Republican Party to get wiped out in the November midterms? I can think of no more popular, well, there are several, but this in particular, door-to-door deportations, would get the GOP wiped out. If you're on social media and all you are is in the Republican bubble, I don't know if you know this or not, or are willing to accept the plain hard truth, but a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 against Kamala Harris have decided those around her are a bunch of, I can't say the word on radio, so I'll just say a-holes. And they really don't like it. You know, the Hispanic community was really well and good and happy to deport all the gangbangers and criminals. They just didn't like Jose, who made the tacos down at the local taco restaurant, getting targeted. He was their guy. He was useful to them. The gangbangers and the drug lords and the criminals, they weren't. And so you got Hispanic voters in this country. They're upset about the cost of living. They're also upset about the heavy hand of the state. Those of you who really are excited about the president saying he's going to round up Mark Kelly and others, I'm sorry, but you live in a fantasy land and you don't realize you live in a fantasy land. You get mad at me for telling you live in a fantasy land. Voters collectively do not care that Mark Kelly told soldiers not to follow illegal orders. They kind of think he's probably right. We're taking our eye off the ball. I would submit to you we're taking our eye off the ball because of that economic news. The economy's not doing great. The president can tell us, he can insist, he can yell that the news is great, but it's not. Inflation is again outpacing wages based on the data we have. Layoffs are occurring. The president keeps talking about the Walmart Thanksgiving basket is 25% less. Yes, because they switched to generic goods and also deleted 6 different varieties of items. And the number of total cans in the package is less. That's just the truth. If you're living on Twitter, you're not living in reality, and you need to touch grass. I say this all the time, and it needs to be said again. The worst thing that could happen for this country is for the Democrats to take back Congress, even just the House, to take it back next year. It's the worst possible thing that could happen. The president's agenda will be permanently sidelined as he is tied up in investigation and he is tied up in impeachment. Pete Hegseth will be impeached. Robert F. Kennedy may be pushed out the door after the first of the year by Trump. He's causing so many problems. There's going to be a White House shakeup coming. But y'all, I'm telling you, there are a lot of the young guys who are around and in this administration who are detached from reality. They're in their Washington bubble. So many of us have always laughed at the left falling into the trap of being in a bubble, a hive mind where reality doesn't penetrate. There are a lot of kids in Washington on the right who are deeply involved in partisan MAGA politics who need to go touch some grass because they are convinced that they are in the real world. And if you're in a world where you think door-to-door mass deportation is a winning public solution for anything, you're in a bubble. You're not in reality. You need to touch grass. If you think that sending Mark Kelly back into active duty and court-martialing him and sentencing him to prison or death for what he did is actually something that's going to happen, you're about to see the United States Senate Republicans stand up for a Democrat. They're furious with the machinations of the president. And you know why? Because they think there are real-world problems. The GOP would like to keep the Senate, and the White House can't even send up judges, let alone a sound economic policy. And instead, they're focused on the seditious 6. Let me pull this account up. This is the Rapid Response 47 Twitter account. It's the official White House Rapid Response account. Let's see. There's one from Doug Burgum on energy efficiency. Then there is one about the president saying he wants Paramount to make Rush Hour 4. That's a good idea, Mr. President. There's the turkey pardon and the president complaining about Chicago. Before the president spoke an hour ago, you should know there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 tweets, 14 or 15 tweets about the seditious six. That was the message this morning. No one's going to go vote next year in the midterms against the so-called seditious six. That sounds like a Marvel movie. The Spider-Man is going to come save the day against the seditious six. Nobody's going to go vote on that issue. They're going to go vote on the cost of groceries. By the way, did you know the president has now gotten rid of tariffs on all coffee, including Brazil and Colombia? You know what's happened? The price of coffee has collapsed. The price of coffee has returned to what it was before the tariffs. He has literally brought down the cost of coffee. Now do aluminum for beer cans, cars, and houses. Now do lumber for houses. Now do steel. Guess what will happen? The prices will come down. Affordability will happen. Banana prices have fallen and coffee prices have fallen after the president got rid of the tariffs. He's bringing down the cost of groceries and he's bragging about it. Never mind he caused the problem with the tariffs. Let's give him credit for the drop. But why won't he do it with aluminum? You know, the major aluminum manufacturer in the United States had a fire and has reduced capacity. We're not producing enough aluminum in this country. We have to import it. The imports are so expensive because of the tariffs. It's driving up prices. If the president got rid of the aluminum tariff today, tomorrow prices would drop. But online, the tariffs are popular. Online, giving Mark Kelly, the senator from Arizona, the death penalty is popular. Online, door-to-door mass deportations is popular. Online, a lot of things that aren't actually popular in the real world are popular. And the Democrats in 2020, many of them, Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris in particular, and Pete Buttigieg, they lost the primaries for president because, in part, they decided it was more important to win the daily war on Twitter than to win in real life. And they catered their message to the online mob, which does not actually exist in the real world. And to the extent it does, it's in India, Nigeria, or Indonesia pretending to be American. Republicans need to touch some grass. Republicans need to get off social media and go talk to voters. If the president has a message to sell about affordability, go sell it instead of pushing out alerts on the seditious six. If the president has positive economic news, barnstorm the nation and tell people they're better instead of lying about groceries. You know and I know what's going to happen to the president's agenda if the Democrats take back Congress next year. And I got a sneaking suspicion. A lot of you don't want to admit it, but a lot of you think they're going to already. So why bother? I think the thinking of the White House is they're going to already. But here's the thing. The way this country has been redistricted and the population shifts towards the right of this country, that it's going to be far closer. It's not going to be a massive blowout. Even if the Democrats are on the ballot right now, they're 6 or 7 points ahead on the generic ballot. That's not enough for the Democrats to have a massive majority right now because of the shifts in voters long-term, Hispanic voters long-term, black voters long-term, working class voters long-term. There's going to be a real shift. And that shift is going to minimize Democratic gains. And if that shift, and I believe it's true, is going to minimize Democratic gains, there's a way to neutralize Democratic gains. But to do that, you got to live in the real world. You got to talk about the issues people care about. No one except conservative activists on social media really cares about the Mark Kelly issue. They care about the price of things in this country. They care about affordability. They care about being able to buy a house. They care about crime. They care about those things. And by the way, the president's doing remarkable things to lower crime in this country. Look at Memphis. Look at D.C. And they're online talking about the so-called seditious six. Not even telling a popular story on keeping the country safe from criminals. They've got a story to tell, They're not telling it. Why? Because the kids who shape the message in the White House are on Twitter. And they think what sells on Twitter will sell in the heartland and suburbia, and it doesn't because it's not real. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Let me go to Bill down in Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show, Bill. How are you?
Good. I was calling about that nursing thing about them not being professionals anymore. I had a discussion about this on social media with a liberal friend of mine who posted that information. Basically, they didn't have any links or anything, but they're saying list of degrees not classed as professional by Trump administration. They include nursing, physician assistants, physical therapists, on and on. And I looked into it, and it's basically a proposed classification change by the Department of Education. It's not a law. It's not passed yet. It still could be changed. And it strictly is a classification when it relates to the amount of federal loans you can get. If it's a professional category, you're allowed up to $200,000. If it's non-professional, which they're saying is nursing, but I can't find a list of that anywhere stating that. But then it would be limited to $100,000.
What it actually is graduate degrees. So graduate degrees are considered professional degrees. Bachelor degrees are not. Undergraduate and graduate degrees, that's the distinction. So there are some nursing programs in the country that are treated as masters of nursing programs. If the rule goes forward, they won't be qualified. But most nursing programs in the country are Bachelor of Sciences in Nursing, treated as an undergraduate degree, and they would be qualified. And you're right, by the way. It's proposed rule. It's not a finalized rule. And people are being freaked out about it and lied to about it when it's actually a proposed rule. That, by the way, was offered up by the education institutions, the colleges of the United States. It was the rule they proposed, not the Trump administration. But God forbid we tell the truth about these things. Now, I got to tell you about Swiss America. They've been warning people about the secret war on cash, where the government tries to steer you away from cash. And it includes crypto, by the way. Swiss America is warning people about this assault on your freedom. With interest rates the way they are, with banks, particularly the regional ones, somewhat unstable right now, Swiss America wants to educate you on protecting your hard-earned assets. You can get their report, The Secret War on Cash, completely free by calling or texting 800-289-2646. It includes, again, digital forms of currency. All your crypto is government wants you not to use it. Just mention Eric, E-R-I-C-K, when you call or text 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646. All you have to do is text my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646 or go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. Again, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Swiss America can get you that report. Call or text my name to 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply. Welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here. As we end the show today, and I am off tomorrow for Thanksgiving Day. Amanda's going to be in for me. Thank you, Dan. I got a lot of cooking I got to do tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Monday. I have a friend, many of you in the listening audience across the nation, doesn't matter whether you are up in Anchorage, down in Palm Beach, you know Clark Howard. And I want to I sat down and I did a call with him, and I want to set it up a little better than I did in the audio I want to play. Clark does a charity drive every year across the state of Georgia. And I realize this is just for Georgia, and occasionally I get program directors who get a little upset with me that why are you focusing on Georgia. Here's why I want to do this for my national audience. Over the last 25 plus years, my friend Clark Howard has made sure that every child in foster care in the state of Georgia gets presents for Christmas. Literally every single child in foster care in Georgia will get a Christmas present thanks to Clark Howard. Georgia, to his knowledge and mine, is the only state in the nation that has a program like this, where you can go to a website, clarkschristmaskids.com, and you can either contribute money or you can find a child and buy presents for them. You can do it online. You can pick the child, pick the age, pick the county. They've got 3 toys, a cheap one, a mid-price one, an expensive one. And you can go pick a kid and buy presents for that kid so that every foster child has one. And other states have the opportunity to do this. Clark Howard helped start it in Georgia. He put his money where his mouth was, helped build the website, uses an Army volunteers. They have a warehouse that Clark rents out during the Christmas season to be able to do this. It's a tremendous operation. And I want all of you nationally to understand that this guy, who is Jewish, spends his Christmas and Hanukkah season making sure that every child in foster care has a Christmas present. And this year, unlike other years, we've actually got a major uptick in the number of kids in foster care. Here now, my conversation with my friend Clark Howard. Welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here, and I've got joining me by phone is my friend Clark Howard, and we were talking before we came on, and you were telling me, Clark, we've got 2,000 more kids in foster care this year?
We do. We're having to step up our game this year because we have so many children to take care of their Christmas wishes this year. But I know our generous listeners are going to make it happen.
Yeah, I would think so. And so if you're just tuning in, Clark, how long have you been doing Christmas Kids now?
This is our 35th year.
35 years. Wow. And so if you're unfamiliar with it, you can go to clarkschristmaskids.com and you can donate, or you can pick out a child somewhere in Georgia, a boy, a girl, by age, and you get a sense of what they want, and you can buy presents for them. You can contribute online so they're taken care of, or you can show up at various Walmarts around the Metro Atlanta area. So when's everybody going to be out at the Walmarts?
So we're going to be at the Walmarts on Pearl Harbor Day, the 7th of December, the 13th of December, and the 14th of December. And all the locations are listed on clarkschristmaskids.com. And most people actually just give us money on clarkschristmaskids.com because it's hard for them to get to a store. They may live somewhere, who knows where in the country, because we get money from all 50 states every year.
That, and it's I don't know what other states do, but the remarkable coordination that you do with the organizations that help with DFACs in Georgia, it's kind of a major operation you guys go through.
Yeah, I mean, FedEx and UPS have to come to us to learn how to sort because we're really good at it. I got to tell you, as best we know, we're the only state in America that does a program like ours where the children are able to pick an age-appropriate gift of 3 different price levels, from a modest gift to a more moderately priced gift to one really nice gift. And they have a list that's based in age bands, and they pick out one of each, and then our incredible, generous listeners take care of those wish lists.
So, and for to give people a sense of this, I'm looking at Clark's Christmas Kids right now, and I found Parker is age 12, a boy in McDuffie County, and you've got 3 options: art supplies for $22.99, wireless headphones for $43.99, a tablet with protective case for $129.99, and make it very easy. I can select. I'm going to do all 3 of these, add them to the cart, and then I can pay and take care of Parker. So Parker will be taken care of by Christy and me. And it's that easy. You go pick the price range and the items, and you put in your credit card number, and you're good to go. And you can take care of kids. Pick the county, pick the age, pick whether it's boy or girl. I'm always kind of, I don't know, it makes me sad to see the number of older kids in foster care, the 17 and 18-year-olds.
Oh, and, then when they reach 18, they're on their own. It's the most it just tears my heart apart because I can't imagine any of my 3 kids being able to fend for themselves on their own, alone at 18. And these kids didn't do anything, Eric. It's the adults in their lives that weren't able to take care of them that they ended up in the state foster system. But the kids feel rejected. They feel like, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do anything. But they're suffering the consequences. And that's why it's so important to me that we let these kids know they're loved, that they're not forgotten, that they're cared about.
Yeah, it's such a meaningful thing. I mean, we've done this now for a while, and I got to tell you, it blows my mind to see some listed even above the age of 18 there. But I mean, the mass number, I'm looking on the website right now, 23,000 plus presence needed to take care of kids, and the number of 18-year-olds. It's also interesting to see the desires of as kids get older, they go from the small toys to more of the electronic devices. But it's always also encouraging to see the number of 17 and 18-year-olds who want books and things like that out there, which I just think is fantastic to see. There's a kid out there who's 17 who they got an electronic device for sure, but also they actually want a lot of books. And I mean, that's great.
Exactly. And, a lot of the older ones need sheets for a bed, blanket for a bed, a pillow. I mean, because they're about to be out there on their own, and they leave foster care with a black plastic trash bag with whatever possessions they have.
Wow. Boy, that's depressing, but I mean, people can make it a brighter season just because they can go to clarkschristmaskids.com and donate or pick out kids and buy presents for and be a light in someone's life.
Can I tell you something that's not depressing?
What's that?
We started off needing 36,000 plus gifts, and now you said right when you clicked it was down to 23,000 something?
Yep.
So, see, that's great progress. We're getting there step by step.
Slowly but surely. Yeah, that is. And it's an encouragement, I think. I mean, I know it is to me every year to see, like when you and I talk about these things, to watch the number falling while we're talking, the generosity of people listening and engaging who otherwise aren't engaging in something like this. And that you get money from all over the United States. And it's what a coordinated program, and frankly, a challenge to other states that they should consider doing something like this.
Well, it's just we backed into doing something that became more and more sophisticated year by year. I mean, think about it. When this started, I was 36, and now I'm pushing 71. It's been a long time. So we were not like this when we started. We were kind of seat of the pants, but over time, we've been able to help more and more children. And over the years, we've raised more than $50 million for these children. And the other thing we've been able to do is inspire a lot of people to become foster parents, because Georgia, like all states, severely short of people who are foster parents. A lot of times people don't even realize what a difference they could make in a child's life by becoming a foster parent.
Right. It is good inspiration. And let me just say, there's a rumor out there in the building that you actually went with Clark's Christmas Kids, not for the alliteration, but if you went for Clark's Hanukkah Kids, you would have like multiple days of needing to get presents for kids. And so, I mean, Christmas just being one, even though it's technically 12 days, there's only that one day for presents.
Yeah, well, Hanukkah's 8 crazy nights, and I never got to experience Christmas being Jewish, but it's great being a Jewish Santa Claus and being able to get as much of this done as we can for these children. And my greatest wish for these children is that their parents heal and are able to provide a loving home for their kids again. But if they're not, that somebody steps forward and fills that role as a foster parent to that child and loves that child. And maybe in many cases, they end up adopting these children. So you said earlier it's depressing about the older kids. But the thing is, if we can create a loving environment for these children, they're able to thrive. And that's what I want for them. I want the same kind of opportunities and joy for a child in foster care as for one of my kids.
Right. So let me ask you, but before I let you go, can you just talk about the enormous volunteer operation you have to make sure the toys are distributed? I mean, from warehousing to sorting to bagging to distribution, there are a lot of people who involve themselves to make sure that these kids get Christmas presents.
Yeah, in the typical cycle of Clark's Christmas Kids, we have 1,500 to 1,700 volunteers. And there's an enormous effort that involves shifts of people coming in and companies that send employees who are just so excited to be there, that sort the gifts by child, by county, get them ready for when the county personnel come in from around the state and volunteers come in from around the state to gather up the gifts for their county or counties that they're collecting for. And they take them and they distribute them. And magically, the kids have these gifts to open Christmas morning because of the generous, wonderful people who volunteer all those hours helping us. I remember one night we were running behind getting the gifts all packed up. And we were there all night.
Wow.
Sorting. And virtually no one left because we had a job to do. And if we didn't get it done, those kids weren't going to have those gifts Christmas morning to open.
Goodness gracious. Well, look, I thank you to all of them and to you. ClarksChristmasKids.com is the website. Clark, thanks for taking some time with me on this, and I hope we reach the goal, and I'm going to check in later as well and see how many more are outstanding. I'm sure Christy and I will find another child to help as well. Thanks to Clark Howard for spending some time with me talking about that. And I just checked. We recorded that interview the other day, and it was over 23,000. It's about 22,800 presents needed. And you can, wherever you are listening in the nation right now, if you want to help brighten a child's day who is away from their parents and in foster care, you can do that. And I wish every state had this program, but they don't. But this is a great way to put a smile on a random stranger's face this holiday season. All you have to do is go to ClarksChristmasKids.com. You can pick out a child to buy for, or just leave a donation, and the team will take care of the kids that haven't been taken care of. And the Clark will, in the Atlanta area, be out at Walmarts in the area over the next few weeks doing this. Y'all, it really is a meaningful, wonderful program. You should see the operation. This massive warehouse filled with presents. They bag them up, distribute them to counties where local county Department of Child Services distribute the kids, the presents to the kids, from electronics to books to makeup to bikes. There's so much there. It's a wonderful operation, and it's a wonderful way for you to help a child in need this Christmas season wherever you are. It's ClarksChristmasKids.com is the website. There's a couple bits of breaking news here as we get out. I will follow those up on the 4 Things to Know This Afternoon podcast. You can subscribe to a separate feed from the show podcast. Look for 4 Things to Know This Afternoon on your favorite podcast app. Here they are. Number 1, the president is weighing removal of FBI Director Kash Patel. Turns out behind the scenes, the president has grown furious with the headlines that Kash Patel used the private jet option with the FBI. He's required as FBI director to fly on private jets during the government shutdown to go see his girlfriend perform. She's a singer. He also ordered an FBI SWAT team, apparently, to protect her, and when they realized security was taken care of, left, and he berated them. He's also made a number of tweets, according to the Justice Department itself. Pam Bondi's Justice Department says the director of the FBI put out several tweets that compromised ongoing investigations, and in one case said enough to tip people off to flee the country who were suspects in a case, among other things. So that's one bit of breaking news. The other is the D.C. mayor, Muriel Bowser, has decided she will not run for a 4th term. She's going back to Mario Land to harass Princess Peach. That is another story out there you should know about. And then there is the other big story happening now. The President of the United States has ordered Steve Witkoff to meet with Vladimir Putin and the Secretary of the Army Driscoll to meet with Volodymyr Zelensky in hopes of finalizing a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. He just put this on social media in the hopes of finalizing the peace plan. I've directed my special envoy Witkoff to meet with President Putin in Moscow, and at the same time, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with the Ukrainians. I will be briefed on all progress made, along with Vice President Vance, Secretary of State Rubio, Secretary of War Hegseth, and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. I look forward to hopefully meeting with President Zelensky and President Putin soon, but only when the deal to end this war is final or in its final stages. This is also a way of saying that he will not be meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky so that Zelensky can ask him for changes to the deal. Lastly, you should know the Democratic Socialists of America are melting down because Zoran Mandami has put together a committee on the housing shortage in New York City, and it's filled with a bunch of bankers and corporate lobbyists. Now, I need to tell you about Vision Computers. We have one of their great computers in our house for my son. It's his gaming PC, and he loves it. And I love it because I don't have to be tech support, because when you buy a computer from Vision Computers, they're your tech support. You get a special number. You can call them 15 seconds or less, get the answer to whatever you have concerning your computer, questions about your computer, can't figure something out, you think there's a problem, they take care of you. They're fantastic. Call them at 404-COMPUTER. Go to visioncomputers.com. You can order a computer in time for the holiday. They're great people, and you can get their managed IT for yourself or your business. Call them at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. Tell them Eric sent you. You might be able to save some money. 404-COMPUTE, visioncomputers.com. They're great people. They build great computers. They save you money. They keep you operational. They help your company. 404-COMPUTE, visioncomputers.com. You guys have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you Monday.